and it comes under the unit 1, diversity in the living world. So now we have to study what is living and what is non-living. Whereas living can be defined as self-replicating, self-evolving, self-regulating and highly interactive system capable of response to the stimuli. So this defines the living. Here mainly includes what are the characteristic features of living as well as the non-living. Whereas the characteristic features of living, which includes the growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization as well as the consciousness. These are the characteristic features. These features are further divided into defining features as well as the non-defining features. Whereas defining features first foremost includes the metabolism. Each and every organism's body is mainly consists of chemicals. Okay, and the reactions is known to be the metabolism. For example, in our system, one of the simple example I can give you is the process of digestion. What we eat, rice, which is mainly consisting of starch. In the process of digestion, where the starch is converted into a glucose, and that is nothing but a metabolism. Where metabolism involves breaking, that is catabolism, or joining, and that is anabolism. Okay, and this particular feature which cannot be seen in the non-living things. That is why it is known to be the one of the defining feature. And the next is about the cellular organization. Each and every organism is made up of a cell. That is one of the basic unit of a living organism. Whereas we the human beings, we are mainly consisting of basic unit is a cell, where the cells are joined to form a tissues. Tissues are joined to form a organ, and the organs are combined to form a organ system. We are consisting of organ system, where these features which cannot be seen in the non-living things, that's why it is known to be the one of the defining feature. And next one is a consciousness, which is also known to be the responsiveness or response to the stimulus. Each and every living organism will have a response to the stimulus. For example, plants, they will have a photoperiod effect. That is nothing but they will respond towards the light. We the human beings, we also respond towards the light as well as the temperature. All these are considered to be the one of the defining feature. Then moving on to the non-defining feature, the first foremost is the growth, where growth is considered to be the increase in the number, size as well as the mass. Okay, so here growth in some of the organisms, for example, if I take a non-living thing, where in the non-living thing, where here in this duster, where there is a dust particles, where the dust particles will pile up and there is an increase in the size. So this also considered to be a growth, but we cannot consider it as a defining feature of the living thing, so it is a non-defining feature. And then is about the reproduction. So sometimes in some of the organisms where the growth and reproduction are considered to be the synonymous. Okay, so here reproduction is nothing but increase in the number or giving birth to the young ones, where it mainly includes sexual reproduction as well as the asexual reproduction. Okay, with the sexual reproduction by the fusion of gametes, asexual reproduction does not involve the fusion of gametes. For example, in planaria, when in the case of planaria, they will have a property of, they will mainly have a property of regeneration. Regeneration refers to where if one part is lost, that can be regrown. That is the mode of reproduction. In some of the organisms such as yeast, where the budding can be seen, it is a mode of reproduction. Where some of the organisms such as amoeba, there is a fission or binary fission, somewhat similar to the cell division. Where in the reproduction as well as growth, cell division refers to the, in some of the organism that is meant for the reproduction and some of the organism is that meant for the growth. So that is why these two features cannot be considered as the defining features. Next, moving on to the next a topic that is nothing but diversity. Diversity in the living world, which includes the biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to total number of organisms in this particular biosphere. So biodiversity is nothing but the species richness. There are about 1.7 million to 1.8 million of species which are identified, out of which 1.2 million are of animals, 0.5 million of plants. Okay. Next, each and every organism is having a certain name. For example, if you see a dog and you can identify it as a dog, that is mainly because of the nomenclature. Whereas nomenclature is the process of naming. Naming, which is having two parts, one is a common name and one more is a scientific name. Where the common name, which is also known as vernacular name, where scientific naming is known to be the binomial nomenclature. Okay, binomial nomenclature is nothing but the scientific name. It is a process of scientific naming. Okay. Next is about the taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is identification, naming and classification of the organism. Where the term taxonomy was given by D. Candolle. Okay, taxonomy was given by D. Candolle. Where the father of taxonomy is Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus is considered to be the father of taxonomy, and his main publication is Systema Naturae. That is the main publication. And the binomial nomenclature, where the binomial nomenclature is nothing but scientific name. So here, where the scientific names are based on principles. Okay, so these are the principles of first one, ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. ICZN, International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. ICVN, International Code for Viral Nomenclature. ICNB, International Code of Nomenclature of Bacteria, as well as ICNCP, International Code of Nomenclature of Cultivated Plants. Okay, so the binomial nomenclature or the scientific names are mainly based on these principles. So now it is mainly having certain. So you can distinguish between a common name as well as a scientific name. Scientific name is the same throughout the world. We won't find any other scientific name. For example, mango, and the scientific name is Mangifera indica, where Mangifera indica is common throughout the world. So here, all the scientific names will have a Latin origin. So that is in Latin. If it is printed, that will be in the italics. If it is printed, it will be in the italics. If it is handwritten, then it will be underlined separately. So now, why it is separately underlined? What are these two words? It is mainly consisting of two parts. One is a generic name and one more is a specific epithet. Generic name is nothing but a genus name. Specific epithet is a species name. Okay, so in the Mangifera indica, Mangifera is a genus name, indica is a species name. So in this, the first letter of the particular genus always must be in capital letter, and all other letters must be in small letters. So that is the rules of binomial nomenclature. Okay, for example, always the person who invented it or the author will be next after the scientific name. For example, this is a Linnaeus. For example, not exactly. So now, next is about the taxonomic categories. So what is taxonomic category? Whereas category is a rank or level in classification. It is a rank or level in the classification hierarchy. Whereas each and every taxonomic category consisting of a single unit known as a taxon, plural taxa. Okay, taxon or a taxa. So now these categories, there are about 7 fundamental categories. The first foremost, the basic one is a species. The group of similar organisms considered to be the species. For example, the Panthera leo is nothing but lion. Panthera tigris is a tiger. Okay, so that is a species which can be bred together, that can involve in the reproduction. So that is a species. It is a basic unit. And next is about the genus. The number of species combined to form a genus. For example, potato and brinjal. Okay, potato and brinjal comes under a genus Solanum. Whereas lion, tiger and leopard, these comes under Panthera. So that is the genus. Okay, so next is the family, where a group of genus club to form a family. Okay, various, for example, lion, tiger, leopard, cat, okay, the dog, everything which is included in a family known as Felidae. In plants, each and every family ends with ACEAE. It is a Solanaceae consisting of Solanum, Petunia, etc. The family is nothing but a group of genus. Okay, so family is a group of genus where it is consisting of lion, tiger, leopard and one, as well as the felis also considered in the particular Felidae, and dog under the particular Canidae. So next is about the orders, where the few particular families are combined to form an order. For example, ES, Sapindae, which includes Sapindaceae as well as Anacardiaceae. Anacardiaceae is a family of mango. And Carnivora, it is an order which includes Felidae as well as Canidae. Okay, dog as well as the lion, tiger, leopards, etc. So this is about the order. And then it is about the class. So, for example, class is nothing but a group of orders. Mammals, we, the human beings, we come under mammals. So the mammals which includes orders such as primates as well as the carnivora. Carnivora is a class. Okay, so whereas class which includes mammals, where it mainly includes the primates as well as the carnivora. And then is about the phylum. Next is about the phylum. Phylum in plants known to be the division. So for example, chordate is a phylum. So chordate and non-chordates, you might have studied about the porifera, coelenterata, flatworms, roundworms. All these are the phylums which comes under non-chordates, and the chordate is a one more phylum, where in the plants where it is known to be the division. Okay, plants it is known to be the division. Next is about the kingdom. So at present we are following R.H. Whitaker's 5 kingdom classification, where in the 5 kingdom classification it mainly includes, there is a presence of 5 kingdoms which includes all the organisms, unicellular organism, prokaryotic, eukaryotic, everything is included in the 5 kingdom classification, where the kingdoms, for example, plantae, animalia, fungi, monera, protista, all these are the kingdoms. So this is a 7 categories. So now one of the easy understanding, or this is just for your memory. This cannot be written in your exams. This cannot be asked in your NEET exams. Okay. So this is a nutshell where K refers to the kingdom, where we can tell it as a kings. P phylum. C that is class. O order. F family. G genus as well as the S species. Okay. So this is a nutshell which you can easily remember 7 categories of the classification. Okay, so this is regarding to the. Okay, next we will see the systematic position of man, butterfly, mango as well as weed. Okay, so here you know that taxa, which consists of 7 categories, that is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus as well as the species. So first we'll see man, where man comes under kingdom Animalia and the phylum Chordata. Man comes under kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia. Okay, there is a class you might have studied, Pisces as well as aves, and also it comes under Mammalia. Order Primata, primates. Okay, that comes under order Primata, and the family Hominidae. Hominidae is the family, and genus Homo, species Sapiens. So the scientific name of man is Homo sapiens. So man comes under kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primata, family Hominidae, genus Homo, species Sapiens. So the scientific name is Homo sapiens. Next we will see about butterfly, where butterfly also comes under Animalia and phylum Arthropoda. See, largest phylum is the Arthropoda. Don't worry about all these phylums as well as classes, because you will study these in another chapter in detail. So there is a class Insecta. Butterfly comes under insects, so it is a Insecta. Order Diptera, family Mucidae, genus Musca, and species Domestica. So the scientific name of butterfly is Musca domestica. So next we'll move on to the plant. So that is nothing but a mango, and it comes under a kingdom plant. So here kingdom Animalia as well as a Plantae. Animalia is also known as Metazoa. Plantae is also known as Metaphyta. So that comes under phylum Angiospermae, class Dicotyledonnae. So you might have studied about dicots and monocots. So this is the Dicotyledonnae. Order Sapindales, family Anacardiaceae, genus Mangifera, and species Indica. So the scientific name is Mangifera indica. So next we'll see the wheat. So regarding to the wheat, so wheat comes under kingdom Plantae, whereas phylum Angiospermae, which is also known as the Angiosperms. Okay, Angiospermae, and the class is Monocotyledonnae. So whereas mango is Dicotyledonnae, so now here you can study the two classes in the particular plant, Dicotyledonnae as well as the Monocotyledonnae, and order Poaceae, family Poaceae, genus Triticum as well as the species Aestivum. So the scientific name of wheat is Triticum aestivum. So this is the important examples which you study in this chapter. So there are so many other examples which you can study in other chapters. Okay, so this is the systematic position. Last topic in this chapter is taxonomical aids. Okay, so these are the aids which are mainly used for the collection of plants and animal specimens in various ways. So in that, the first one is the herbarium and repository. So in this way, where it is a storehouse of plant specimens, where the plant specimens are collected, dried, pressed as well as preserved on sheets. There is a herbarium sheet, and the herbarium sheet is about 29 into 41 centimeter. Okay, so here these herbarium sheets, where there will be these plant specimens that will be dried and that can be preserved for the future reference. Okay, so one of the largest herbarium is nothing but Royal Botanical Garden Keep in London. In India, we have Central National Herbarium, Kolkata. Okay, so this is the first foremost, that is nothing but herbarium, where only plant specimens can be preserved, that and not in a live form. And next one is a botanical garden, where in the botanical garden there is a collection of living plants. So very important plants, medicinal plants, everything can be collected and that can be grown. Okay, so that will be meant for a recreation. So here also in the botanical garden, one of the largest one is in London, that is a Royal Botanical Garden, Kew, London. In India, we have Indian Botanical Garden, Howrah, the same one in Kolkata. So then we have National Botanical Research Institute in London. So then the next one is a museum. As you know about the museum, you might have visited. So it is a collection of preserved plants and animal specimens. So here the plant and animal specimen will be preserved in various ways. If it is an animal, if it is large in size, that can be stuffed. Okay, in various ways, that can be pinned and that can be stored in formalin solution. In various ways that can be preserved. So in India we have lot of museums. One of them is Indian Museum in Kolkata. And next aid is nothing but a zoological parks, where animals grown in captivity and exhibited to the public. You might have visited various zoological park where animals that will be kept in a captivity. So there is two types. So preservation will be done. Okay, that will be done in a two ways. This is a one way where it will be under the captivity. So we have lot of zoological parks in India. One of them is nothing but Jayachamrajendra Odeyar Park, that is in Mysore, as well as there are so many in Kolkata, in Visakhapatnam, various other places. So the last one is nothing but keys. So regarding to the keys, where it is based on the similarities as well as the dissimilarities, where one particular organism which will be identified based on the similarities as well as the dissimilarities. In that first one, where there is a contrasting features, the pair of contrasting features is known to be the couplet, which includes furthermore such as flora, fauna, monograph, manuals as well as the catalogs. Where in the flora, where it is a collection of or the record of plant specimen in a given area, whereas fauna is a collection of animals in a given area. Monograph refers to it is the information of a single taxon. Normally it is below family level. It is the information of single taxon, where the manuals, using manuals, it is a record where we can identify the species. We can identify the species based on their features. It is also confined to certain areas. As well as the catalogs. These are also used to identify plants and animal specimens. So these are the taxonomical aids, very important taxonomical aids. So regarding to the NEET point of view, in this chapter, all the other concepts you will study in other chapters. So that's why I did not go in detail. You can study in other chapters also. Only the taxonomical aid which you can study only here. Okay, all the other concepts that you will study for example, classification, plants, animals, everything you will study in other chapters.